What do you think of her?
She is beautiful, sire.
I doubt it. Artists are liars. Oh, what do I care? I'm reliably informed she's healthy. Her mother had 13 children, her grandmother 16, so... Good morning, Murat.
Morning, sir.
Jane?
Good morning, sir. Constant?
You heard from your wife?
Not recently, sir.
I have a letter from her this morning, written from Strasbourg. Caroline tells me that Marie-Louise wants to know what will make me happy. I am replying that all I need is a wife who will be happy in our marriage.
Perfect answer, sir.
Miss Jane, delighted to see you. How's your mother?
In excellent health, sir.
Good, good. She's settled in at her new chateau at Navarre.
Not yet, sir.
What?
I dined with her last night at Malmaison, sir.
Josephine is still at Malmaison?
She spoke of going to Navarre, sir, but I don't know when.
Duroc?
Sire?
I have an errand for you.
Your Majesty, the Emperor asked me to say that he gave you the Chateau de Navarre as yet another proof of his desire to make you happy.
I have written to the Emperor thanking him for his kindness.
The Emperor thought you would enjoy having a second home further in the country than Malmaison.
Yes, Navarre is certainly further from Paris.
The Emperor had hoped you would have moved there by now.
Navarre is not ready for me yet.
The Emperor has ordered repairs.
How can I live in a house which has not been heated for years, where the panelling in the drawing room is rotten with damp?
Your Majesty, we are doing our best.
Dear Duroc. Yes, I know you are.
But the Emperor did, in his last letter, ask you to move to Navarre on the 25th of March.
So that I'm even further from Paris when Marie-Louise arrives.
Your Majesty, the whole world knows of the Emperor's great love for you.
And mine for him.
It would be better for the new Empress not to be too closely or too constantly reminded.
Since I sacrificed myself for her, and for him...
Yes, Your Majesty.
Might it not have been better for me to have welcomed the new Empress to Paris? To the house where I used to live, to my rooms there, to my bed?
Your Majesty, you will be represented at the wedding celebrations by your son, the Viceroy of Italy, and your daughter, Queen Hortense.
Duroc, ask him...
The Emperor asks you, Your Majesty. The Emperor commands that you leave Malmaison and go to Navarre today.
Tell the Emperor I am his most devoted servant.
I must learn what pleases young women. Hortense, you should know. What must I do to please my new Empress?
Oh, Your Majesty should learn to walk.
Should, but must I?
The Empress is Austrian. These days the Austrians do nothing but walk.
When I was in my military school, I was top of the class in everything else, bottom of the class in dancing. We of the awkward squad were advised to practice by our dancing master. Not with a lady, of course, that would have been much too dangerous. But with a chair. Alas, 2 turns and I was dizzy and I fell over and that chair broke. Yes. Oh, poor Empress. I shall have to learn some other way of pleasing her.
Forgive me, sire. Captain Lejeune requests permission to report to you.
Lejeune!
Sire.
Well, what news? Where are they?
Sire, the Archduchess Marie-Louise and the Queen of Naples spent the night at Vitry. They are now on the road to Soissons.
Did you yourself see the Archduchess?
Yes, sire.
Well, tell me frankly, what did she look like? How did she impress you?
Very favourably, sire.
Very favourably doesn't give me any information. What colour was her hair?
Fair, sire.
What sort of fair?
Something like the Queen of Holland, sire.
A complexion?
A fair complexion, sire. Rather like the Queen of Holland.
So she resembles the Queen of Holland?
Well, no, not really, sire. Not at all.
Right away, you idiot! Well, obviously, she's plain. Well, if she gives me strong sons, I shall love her as if she were the most beautiful woman on earth. Murat, you want to see your wife?
Naturally, sir.
I'm longing to see mine.
That's even more natural.
Order a carriage. I'm a new dynasty. I must marry into an old one. The Habsburgs of Austria have been kings and emperors of Europe for 500 years. Think, Murat. My son, by Marie-Louise, will be the 18th generation. Well, Murat, we've not done badly, eh?
Not too badly, sire.
You were an innkeeper's son. You married my sister, and I made you king of Naples.
Yes, sir, you did.
It was 14 years ago. It was 14 years, Murat. I was a penniless young general on my way to the Italian campaign. And now, I'm marrying the first princess of all Europe. What do I mean, Europe? Of the world! Halt! This Costello?
Yes, sire.
Right, we'll wait here. They can't be long now.
Yes, sire.
I'll get the coach out of sight!
Where are we now? Oh, somewhere. Isn't it time we stop for the night?
I suppose we shall stop fighting.
At what place?
I've forgotten. It's all arranged.
I hope it won't be the mayor meeting us in the reception at the town hall.
It usually is.
And we have to listen to speeches before we can eat. Oh, I have this terrible cold.
Yes.
When I have a cold, it makes me more hungry. Have we got there? The place where we stop?
I don't know, I suppose so. Oh!
Caroline, you've spoiled it. I wanted it to be a surprise. I wanted to sit down and say I'm delighted to see you. I'm your husband. Thank God.
Why?
My dear Louise, you're beautiful.
Marie-Louise?
I've decided to drop the Marie.
Oh, why?
One name's enough. You're 1,000 times more beautiful than your portrait.
And you're nicer looking than yours.
My portrait? Well, it was a good one of me, wasn't it?
No.
Ah, but you thought of me as a Corsican ogre.
No, I thought you would look like Marshal Berthier.
Berthier?
Someone told me you were like him.
Berthier's ugly.
Yes, you're not ugly.
And he's old.
Yes, you're not so old.
But I'm young. Well, I'm younger than Berthier. Oh. My dear Louise, I'll show you how young I am. Murat!
Is he here?
Yes. Murat, King of Naples, where are you?
Sire! Archduchess, good evening. Caroline.
We'll drive straight on, Murat.
Yes, sire, where to?
Where we came from.
Tonight, sire?
Yes, now. Oh, what did they tell you?
In Vienna,
Yes,
they told me that I'd be taken to your palace.
yes.
You would be standing in the entrance hall of the palace, and I was to kneel at your feet and make a speech to you.
Speech?
I learnt it by heart.
Say it to me now.
I don't have to say it now.
Say it.
It was very formal.
Ah, and we have gone past the stage of being formal.
Yes.
After your very formal speech, you were still kneeling.
They said you'd probably pick me up.
Mm-hmm. And if I didn't?
I was to stay kneeling until you did.
And when I did finally pick you up,
They said you probably kissed me on the forehead.
On the forehead.
Yes.
Louise, this is, for you, a day of surprises.
Yes.
After that, what did they tell you to do?
My father told me to do whatever you wanted me to do.
Very young. Simple. Very natural. The opposite of Josephine. Will it work?
What?
Josephine, the soul of artificiality, was an excellent empress. Will simplicity serve?
The Emperor and the Archduchess will not be joining us. The Emperor gives permission for everyone to retire to bed.
The Archduchess is all Europe, of course. Europa. And the Emperor is the great god Jove, disguised as a bull.
I am young.
Young as ever, sire?
Well, I do.
If your majesty will permit me one tiny stroke of the comb. There. You're perfect, sire.
Ladies, you have my permission to retire to bed. What was that speech that you learnt by heart?
The meaning of it was that I will obey you in all things.
And then probably I pick you up.
Yes.
Louise, I am not a Habsburg. I am a self-made ruler with self-made rules.
Yes.
However, there are certain formalities, which even I accept for the sake of what? The opinion of the world?
Yes.
In 3 days' time, we shall be formally married.
Yes.
And the following day, we shall be religiously married at Notre Dame.
Yes.
However, I am, in a sense, already married to you. I married you in Vienna by proxy. Marshal Berthier was my representative, and he made, on my behalf, a binding contract.
Yes.
Louise, you do believe that we are married?
Yes, if you say so.
Louise, I want to go to bed with you. Tonight, now. What did your father, that other emperor, tell you?
To obey you in all things.
Get into bed. It is cold here. I told them to make you a fire.
Told them to put it out.
Why?
I always sleep with no fire, and with my windows open.
Why?
It is healthy.
No, you have a cold. You'll make it worse.
It is not healthy to sleep with a fire in one's room, or with the windows shut.
Louise, what did your father tell you?
To obey you?
I shall call your servants. They will quickly make a new fire.
Oh, no, I couldn't bear it.
Louise, I am accustomed to having a fire in my bedroom at night.
But you mustn't. It's unhealthy.
A small fire, a moderate fire, is not unhealthy.
Oh, yes, it's terribly bad for you.
Louise, I have had a fire in my bedroom all my life.
That is why you have an unhealthy complexion.
Have I?
Yes.
A tiny fire?
No, it's not possible.
Well, I shall put out the lights.
Oh, no. Please, not all.
Is it healthy to have candles burning at night?
It is not a question of health.
Good. I shall put them out.
No. No.
Why not?
I always have lights in my room at night.
I don't.
I always do.
Why?
I'm afraid.
Of the dark?
Of ghosts.
My dear Louise, you have a husband now. There is no need to be afraid. There is no reason to be afraid of anything.
Please.
Louise, what did your father tell you?
Please, I must have some lights.
How many?
5 or 6 candles.
1.
No, 5 or 6.
1!
Good morning, sire.
Well, did anyone remark on the change I made in the program last night?
It was assumed, sire, that the Archduchess was tired after her journey.
My dear fellow, you should have married an Austrian girl. Ah, they make the best wives in the world. Fresh as roses, sweet, simple, docile. Go to sleep again, darling.
No.
No, go back to sleep. I'm going to my own room.
No, you mustn't.
Darling, I'm cold.
No, I'll warm you.
Oh, go back to sleep. I'll see you at breakfast.
No, I've woken up.
Please sleep.
No, make love to me again.
Her Majesty is as robustly healthy as one could possibly be.
She is not pregnant.
No, sir.
Why not?
Dr. Ivan and I have consulted together, sire, and Ivan feels perhaps more strongly than myself.
Ivan? Well, what?
Her Majesty takes too many hot baths.
Too many or too hot?
Both, sire.
Commissar?
It is a possible explanation.
Oh, she's fond of hot baths, as I am myself.
You might care to speak to her, sire.
Oh.
You might care to set her an example.
I shall get dirty. I can't bear being dirty.
Louise, you can't wash yourself all over perfectly well without taking a bath.
I like taking a bath.
Louise, my dearest one, my darling, you do know what you must give me.
A son?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Anything else you want, but no baths.
Until I am pregnant.
Until you are pregnant. Then we can ask the doctors again.
Very well.
Thank you. I must leave you for a moment. Shall we go for a drive this afternoon?
Oh, yes, let's.
Where to? Anywhere special?
Oh, I don't mind.
There are several places that I haven't shown you yet.
You can choose.
Would you like to go to Malmaison? It's a very pretty garden. I only suggest it because it's a fine day, it's a pleasant drive. It occurred to me that you might like to see the garden. Louise, my darling, you don't have to meet Josephine. Ever.
Count Clery tells me she received over 100 guests the other night. And to each one of them she used exactly the same words. I am charmed to see you.
The Austrian court is very formal. I suppose that's what they taught her to say.
At the same reception, she said to Madame de Mortemar, "I have seen you somewhere before."
Really? That's incredible.
Well, of course, Madame de Mortemar said, "I have been one of your Majesty's ladies-in-waiting for 3 months now." I don't know how the Emperor puts up with it.
The Emperor has other things to occupy his mind.
Yes, like what to do about the 15 cardinals who've refused to come to his wedding.
What can he do?
Count Leipziltern overheard the Emperor say, "They are trying to cast doubts on the legitimacy of this marriage." But they were doing more than that. They were denying that it was legitimate. And it was not. The Church in France had no power to annul my marriage. Napoleon is still married to me. Napoleon will come to realize this when he is finally bored out of his mind by her. She won't have a child. He can't give her one. I know he can't. I don't believe in the Valeska child. That was just a trick to try to persuade the world. The Tsar knew it was a trick. He was not deceived by it. Nor was I. Do you know what they are calling Marie-Louise in the streets of Paris now, Claire? Do you know what they call her?
Yes, Your Majesty, I do know.
The Austrian woman. They want to get rid of her. They want me on the throne again because I was his good luck. They're superstitious about it. They're afraid that his luck has turned.
Let us hope not, Your Majesty.
Yes, I hope not. I'm afraid that it may have done. I am superstitious too. But Napoleon will come back to me. Thank you, Etienne. The Emperor wishes me to be the first to know. She is pregnant.
I am charmed to see you.
Your Majesty, my kingdom will be as delighted as yours at the great news.
Thank you.
Later this evening, with your permission, of course, I intend to propose the health of the King of Rome.
Yes. I hope I shall have a boy.
We must not doubt it for an instant.
He will be King of Rome from the moment he's born. Napoleon Francis Charles Joseph. After his father, his Austrian grandfather, his Corsican grandfather, and his uncle, the King of Spain.
What names if it's a girl?
Caroline, when did I ever fail to do what I set out to do?
Never, I agree.
And after him, more sons. My parents had 5 sons. Why shouldn't I? Every family should have 5. He's very like me.
He is the image of you.
Alexander.
Yes.
Good name.
A family name. My husband has accepted him as his own son.
So, he is Polish and will be Count Walewski.
Yes.
I shall make him a French count, too. I'd like him to be at least half a Frenchman. I'm delighted that you brought him to Paris. Will you be here long?
As long as you wish me to.
It is no longer a question of my wishes.
I always want to be near you.
You do understand that my life has changed. It can only be as a friend.
I already understand that.
Marie, if I could have married you, I would have. And he would be named not Alexander, but Napoleon, and have succeeded to my throne as Napoleon II.
I never supposed there was any hope of our marrying.
I reached a point where nothing less than an emperor's daughter would do.
People tell me you are happy with her.
Yes.
I'm glad.
She loves me. And she will give me what I most need.
A Napoleon II.
Yes. And I love her. She's simple, truthful, virtuous, everything that Josephine was not. And she has made me a faithful husband at last.
The Corsican father of a family.
It is what nature intended me to be.
Sire.
Well?
The Empress's birth pangs have begun.
Why aren't you with her?
Nothing will happen for 2 or 3 hours, yet perhaps longer. There's no cause for alarm, sire.
I shall go to her.
She has asked to see you, sire.
Dubois, is it?
Dr. Dubois, sire, the accoucheur.
If my child is a boy and you deliver him well, I shall make you a rich man. Richie, the artillery.
Will fire on my word of command, sire.
How many?
A salute of 101 guns, sire.
For a boy.
Sire.
And,
sire?
For a girl.
21 guns, sire.
Louise, dearest, how are you? Be brave, be brave.
It hurts so much in my front, but more in my back.
If Her Majesty could walk about a little.
Can you walk?
I'll try.
That's better.
Napoleon, I think I'm going to die.
No. You're simply feeling what every woman feels at this stage.
Officer! Drive on!
She started to give birth.
Not yet, sire.
Why did she scream like that?
She is unaccustomed to pain. Her Majesty has fallen asleep, sire.
Asleep?
The pains have eased.
Is that normal?
Everything is normal. The child will not be born for a time yet. I advise you, sire, to get some sleep. In case of problems, sire.
What problem?
We expect no problems, sire, but there always may be problems.
Sire. Sire. Sire.
Is she dead?
Sire. Sire.
If she is dead, we must bury her.
No, not dead, sire, but the waters have broken too soon. It happens once in 1,000 cases. The baby is coming out feet first.
Well, deliver the child!
I shall have to use instruments. May I have your permission to use instruments?
Deliver it!
It may be a question of the mother or the child. Probably it will be a question. Which am I to save? It is not for me to choose.
Your Majesty, I have had 2 children like this, and there's nothing to be afraid of.
I am an empress. Must I die because I'm an empress?
Save the mother. It is over. She's saved.
And the child?
Saved.
Is it a boy?
Berthier, give the command to fire a salute of 101 guns.
You don't want to make love to me anymore.
Louise! I want to make love to you as much as ever I did.
Then why don't you as much?
Because of your health.
I think my health would be better if you made love to me as much.
I don't want to take the risk of your becoming pregnant again. For a time.
I would take the risk.
Would you? I wouldn't. I'm not so much in love with the human race as I would willingly live through another birth like that.
I think you only wanted one son. Now you have him, you are tired of me.
Louise, as you know, I often have to work at night.
You usedn't to.
Exactly. I've lost most of a year. I must make up for it. I have a war in Spain. I have an empire of 90 million people to organize.
You have ministers who can do it for you.
Louise, this is not Austria. In my empire, I leave nothing to anyone. I must go. Corvisart is waiting to see you.
Yes, he is giving me some pills.
I shall call on you this evening to see how you are. Till then. Corvisart.
Sire.
What is wrong with the Empress?
Hypochondria, sire.
So what are these pills you're giving her?
Breadcrumbs and sugar, sire.
I shall do one more great thing before I settle down to being a husband and father. Berthier, you and I will go on one last expedition.
Where to, sir?
Russia.
Forgive me, sire. We are not at war with Russia.
The Tsar has played fast and loose with me. For a year now, in secret, he's been building up an army to attack me.
Are you sure of that, sir?
My incompetent agents were slow to find it out. But yes, at last I am sure.
Forgive me, sire. I'm not clear why the Tsar should wish to attack you.
The Tsar's vanity is such that he cannot bear to be the second man in Europe. I must teach him that there is one first and no second.
Wouldn't it be better, sire, to finish the war in Spain?
Spain is an island, cut off from Europe by the Pyrenees. The English army, there is no danger, unless Russia joins with England and we are threatened on two fronts. We must eliminate Russia before that can happen. I want all necessary transport for an army of 500,000 men, starting somewhere in Germany and moving to Moscow.
Moving to Moscow.
Road. I am not in the Emperor's confidence at present.
You are his advisor.
I give everyone advice, if only they would take it.
The Tsar is always glad to take it.
The Tsar, forgive me, Nesselrode, is a splendid flatterer.
The Tsar is anxious to have your opinion.
He shall have it.
As to whether your Emperor means war.
How shall I read his mind? Napoleon is mad enough to want to rule the world, therefore he is mad enough to make war on Russia. He is, however, sane enough not to do so if the Tsar could make it clear it would be a war that no one could win, not even Napoleon.
I shall transmit your opinion.
He's had 14 years now as a conqueror. You do know, of course, his two great heroes in history. Alexander the Great, who had 14 years before he went mad, and Julius Caesar, who had 14 years before death forestalled his oncoming madness.
Prince, you would hardly wish...
Oh, good heavens, no.
No. We must try to keep the world as it is.
My dear Nesselrode, I wish for no changes at all. I simply hope it may be possible to confine my Emperor's folly within its present limits. For the 14 years will come to an end.
Hortense asked after your health.
Oh, that was nice of her. I like Hortense.
She had a request to make.
Oh, yes?
That Josephine should be allowed to see the King of Rome. The request is a very natural one. Josephine agreed to my divorcing her so that I could marry you and have a son. Well, we have a son. Josephine does not have to come here. I could arrange a meeting place where she could see the child.
No.
For a moment.
No, I don't want her to.
Darling, what harm could it do?
No, I won't discuss it. Come to bed.
Louise, I must work. If I finish my work soon enough...
Please.
Then I shall come and wake you.
Please.
But in case I can't, good night, my dearest. Why do you do that?
I have a habit of wiping myself like that.
Do I disgust you?
Oh, no. I do the same with the King of Rome when I see him every morning.
Every morning?
Yes. I see him for 10 minutes while I am dressing.
For 10 minutes?
5 or 10? Why?
Your Majesty.
Madame de Montesquieu.
the King of Rome.
How very kind of you.
I bring him to the park every day when the weather's fine. The air is so much purer than in the city.
He has his father's eyes and his mouth.
Yes.
He's very beautiful.
Yes. And strong.
May I, for a moment?
Josephine.
Thank you. And my warmest thanks to your wife for letting me see him.
Louise doesn't know.
Doesn't know?
Please be silent about this visit.
Yes.
I should prefer Louise not to find out.
Does she dislike me so much?
She's jealous of you.
Oh. Who am I now for anyone to be jealous?
Her emotions are simple, direct. She knows that I loved you for a number of years.
I should like to meet her.
No.
Or to show her there is no need to be jealous.
You must never meet her.
Never?
She is younger than Hortense. You are Hortense's mother. She imagines you old, an old woman, 60, 80. She consoles herself with that thought. If she were to see you as you are, still beautiful, still desirable, she would want me to send you away to Italy. No, to America. You are not unhappy at Malmaison. Leave things as they are.
He is a beautiful child.
I hope he will fulfill his destiny.
Gently. The rouge may come off. I use rouge these days.
You always did.
Ah.
Never needed to.
Yes, but now I am less of a liar. Shall I see him again?
I hope so.
Shall I see you again?
I may be going away soon.
Another war? No, I won't ask that. May I ask you something quite different?
Anything not about war.
If I had had a son by you, a king of Rome,
I should never have divorced you.
Did you say that to make me happier?
No. Does it make you happier?
Yes.
Josephine, make me happier too.
Can I do that?
You are still living far beyond your means. I had to pay your debts yet again last month. Another 1,000,000 francs for clothes, jewelry.
You do not change.
Nor you.
You've always paid my debts.
I suppose I always shall.
Thank you for not changing.
You know my views, sire.
Yes, you are my prophet of doom.
You're a man of peace?
A poor boast. You have made my peace treaties at my dictation, on my terms, after my victories. Any man can do that.
I have sought the essential of peace, a balance of power.
There can be no peace while I have enemies who can combine to destroy me.
I agree that the most lasting peace is an uninhabited...
The only lasting peace is a single Europe with a single master. Read my career Talleyrand. Everything points towards that. That is the inevitable end. Are there any other men of peace amongst you?
Delighted to lead the cavalry, sire. As always.
Thank you, Murat.
Sire, I shall be proud to lead my army corps.
Eugène, you are to stay here as regent of France.
Sire, I shall be proud to lead my army corps, not to be regent.
Thank you, Eugène. Berthier.
It's a gamble, sire. The Russians are ahead of us by a year and an army.
We have the greatest army the world has seen.
In numbers. But our soldiers are children.
The first shot will make men of them.
Agree?
Who else has doubts? Gentlemen, I have an empire. I have a son. I hold the future in my hands. All that is needed is one last great blow. One last great victory.
How long will you be away?
Haven't you heard what my young officers are calling it? A 6-month shooting party.
6 months is a long time.
If the Russians fight me on their frontier, it'll all be over much sooner than that.
But if they don't?
Then I shall march to Moscow and install myself in the Kremlin and send for you. And we shall have parties and dances as if it were Paris.
I shall be very sad and unhappy until I see you again.
You're a good wife.
I love you. So I don't ever want you to go away from me. 2 months. Not more than 2 months. Promise me.
All right. I promise not more than 2 months.
Why do you hum that?
Oh, Constance says I always hum that when I'm off on a new campaign.
What is it? The tune?
Marlborough is going to the wars.
I think you like going to the wars.
I'm a soldier, it's my trade.
I wish you weren't so happy.
Louise, do you know that I shall have been a great conqueror for more years than anyone else in the history of the world? And when I come back...
In 2 months.
In 2 months. Our son, the King of Rome, will only have to stretch out his arms. And the world will be his.